All right, good morning, everyone. Thank you so much for joining. Today's topic is zoning. So, we're going to find out what zoning is and what, what determines how the zoning is, in that area, right? And as realtors, we should have some sort of idea what the ratings for these zoning districts mean and how you can guide your clients, right? So, first of all, zoning it's divided up the whole New York State or New York City, actually with different zonings. They range. We're gonna work with residential districts today, so we're gonna start from R1 all the way up to R10, right? But we're gonna see how they're divided. And zoning is pretty much how the city is controlling what can be built on a vacant land or what can be upgraded to. Let's say if you have a one family house and as an investor you want to convert that into a two family, three family, four family, that would depend on the zoning itself, right? So uh, pretty much when we're looking for residential, we see a lot of R2 is the more common one for single family and R3 for our two families. Okay. So let's start with our R1. Okay. Even with R1, these numbers here, there might be additional number in the end, which we'll go over. Okay. So your R1 is you can see a property address, a property photo like this. That's in Jamaica, Queens, right? So R1 is a low density neighborhood, right? With is a single family house. So if you see R1, you know it's a single family, and R1 family it got to be detached. So there's no other properties to the left or the right or the back. Okay, so they're completely detached, and we're going to look at these graphs here, charts here, right? So for R1, the lot size needs to be big. It has to be 60 by 100 or larger, right? The front yard minimum, it needs 20 feet, okay? Rear, it needs 30 feet of space. So let's say you buy a land here, uh, in this R here, you need to have space in the front and the back on the sides, right? That's your R1. Just know that if you're looking at R1, that the lot is going to be big and it's going to be a detached property. Okay. All right. And then for your R2, R2s are also single family. So don't get confused. Don't think R2 because the number two is there is a two family. It's not. Okay. R2 is still single family. They're detached properties. Okay. But the difference between R1 and R2 is the lot size. In R2 now, if you see here, that total square foot area 3800, so the width the front has to be 40, so 40 by 100 lot size is still a single family. Okay, but the front now, before for R1 they needed 20 feet to leave the space in the front to build. Now with R2 only 15. Okay, all right, so that's your difference between R1 and R2. Okay, then R3 now, they're in the lowest density, right? And it allows semi-detached one or two family. So if your lot is on R3 one zone, that means you can build either one family or you could build two family there. It can be semi-detached, meaning it's attached from one side and open on the other side, or it could be fully detached. Okay. And the requirement for that R31 for detached is 3800 square feet with the minimum width being 40. So 40 by 100. If it's semi detached, that means it can go as low as 18 feet from the front. So even on a smaller lot size, you can build two family there. Okay. And then you can see there's R32, right? 1700 square feet and then 18 feet from the front. So as you can see it for your R4 now, right? This is where you can build three family property, okay? So if your zone is R3, you can go up to two family. For R4, you can go up to three families now. Okay, and let's look at the minimum area. Again, if the lot size still is same as R3, but now the zoning is different now. Because the zoning is different for this lot, right? The value is going to be more, and they can build multifamily on this. Okay, three or four family. Okay. So as these numbers are increasing R5, R6, right? They're just giving you the requirements right here. Okay. So the lot size, as we know in New York, the largest that we see, it's probably 60 by 100. That's rare. 40 by 100s are common, right? So if you're in R5 zone now and you have that, you want to build one or two family, right? You need at least a lot size of 3,800 square feet. But if you want to build a three or four family in R5 zone now, right, you only need 1,700 square feet. Meaning the width can be small, but now because of this zoning, they can build more going up. They can have second floor, third floor, fourth floor. So sometimes you see small buildings that narrow, but they go up, right? That's what the value is. Okay, so you can see this in Brooklyn here, and then you can see R6 here. Again, smaller buildings, but more units going in. Okay, pretty much that's up to R6 what we see in Queens, and what we're mainly selling. But if you R7, again, more property units you can have in there. You can see this here for R8, for R9.
Good morning, guys.
Good morning, morning. And this for your R10. Okay. So these zones, they do change from time to time, but they don't change as often as you might think, right? Sometimes it takes years, and this is planning from the county side, right? The government is doing it for,
Hello, hi Lucky.
yeah. Hey,
Uh,
yeah, Bhupender, you
I
had
want
question?
to know like what's the meaning for 10A, 10B, 10C, 10X? What's the meaning for ABC?
Yeah, they go in more depth. It's just that this is our first meeting on zoning. I just want to keep it on this. We will go more in depth with those. Also, the commercial districts. We'll go over
Okay,
that in the next meeting. It's just that it's
okay,
only half an hour. We're keeping it simple with just knowing that, hey, if you see a R1 or R3, what we can go, what we can,
okay,
yeah, build on that. But
okay.
more, yeah, as you can see here, R2, R3 two, then R3A, right? It gives
Yeah,
you examples. We'll go a lot more in depth, right?
okay.
So again, so I want to give you guys example. This is for our 101 location, right? Building there. This recently is changed to R6, right? And before it was R3, right? Just a regular two family, and it's changed. So 101 Avenue, the value for these property, not just one, because of the zoning, now the property values goes much higher. It's not a fixed rate. It really depends on what the investor is willing to put. But now if you see a property that has a zoning of R6 on 101 Avenue or anywhere, and they only have one or two story, you know that they can build a lot more, and the value should be a lot more as well. So if you're listing a property where it's a single family, but has the potential to be a two family, three family, four family, because of the zoning, you can tell the seller, hey, the market is hot. Your zoning is really good that it changed for you. Everything is in the ball is in your court. You can put it for, much higher than any other properties out there. So that's the point of that, right? The main ones that we see here are from R2. R1, we see it a lot in Long Island because of larger lot sizes, but R2 to R6 is what we want to know, uh, we should know about. Okay, so go ahead, guys. Questions, concerns, right? So this link here, I'll share with you guys, and also for this link here, for zoning link right here for Zola, right? You can just type in the address. You can see uh, the address selected here, and on the right side, you can see the zonings, right? This is another great way of checking if you see a listing on MLS, and if it says, this is the zoning, but you can always verify it as an agent through this, right? Like I said, again, this is just a starting, this is the basic level one start, but every few weeks we'll go more in depth with this, the commercial side, and more in depth with for the zoning itself, like breaking it down even further, right? Okay. So another two things that you will see, once is the word density, and one is floor area ratio, which will go over both, right? So let's go to density first, right? It just means that how many maximum unit can it be on that lot, right? That's the density. Like we said, if it's R1, larger lots, they just want, they're in R1 zoning, they can only build one large house in there, right? Single family, it could be spacious, but the higher the zoning goes, it goes more in height, air rights, right? The city is allowing you to build more units on top of each other, right, in higher density. But uh, again, if you are in Long Island side, you're gonna see a lot more just single families. They don't will not change the zoning just because they want that environment to be different. Whereas we're coming from it started from New York City, whereas in Manhattan you see all of them pretty much R8, R9, R10, where you see a small lot, but the building is skyrocketing. Like the zoning is really, they have like 50 units, 100 units, and stuff like that, right? They're allowing that. And for that's exactly what the floor area ratio is for, right? So there's three examples here. This one here, that on a lot, they're using up the full lot here to build one, right? On the second example, they're using 50%, right? But difference between the first and the second is that this is a one floor and this is two story, right? And on the third one, they're only using 25%, right, of the land, but they have one, two, three, 4 floors on it, right? So 4 stories. So that's what you're for. So again, sometimes you might see on Property Shark saying that, hey, this is built, maybe the property is built 2,000 square feet, but it still has another, they can build maybe another 300 square feet, right? So that 300 square feet is like the city's allowing you to build it. Now it's the owner's um, option if they want to get the permit and actually extend it from the back, or whatever whatever they can do. So just know that what far is what the city is allowing you to build, and then as a owner, you can decide if you want to build more on it or not. Some people cannot just afford it, right? They have a single family, they don't have the money to renovate it, but they have equity and they know that the zoning changed, and the property value goes a lot higher. On a personal note, one of my uncles bought a property in 1994, and for like almost $100,000, $150,000, really cheap. And when he sold it, probably like 10 years ago, the zoning changed to commercial in that area, and he sold it close to $700,000. So small lot, very small lot, single family. So these zonings, they mean a lot, they matter a lot, and these lot sizes. Josh and I were talking earlier. He did mention that if you have a lot, if you're buying an empty lot and then you see a zoning for, let's say, R3, right? That you could build two family there, right? But if the lot now is subdivided, right, between after 1961, right? You have to go with the new regulations. If it was built between before 1961, right, they can follow the old rules. But anything if it's a vacant land is subdivided after 1961, just remember that 1961 they have to follow the new rules and go with the new zonings there. Okay. Questions, concerns, guys? Just to show you some visuals. Again, R1, you see a big lot, big, huge property on it. Probably the taxes are high on this too, right? R2, R3, R4, R5, R6. Right. Questions, concerns, anything on your mind?
The R4, does it means you have to be 4 story high, or it could be 2 story, and each floor is divided into two, so it's a four units.
This is the limits that they're giving you. They can build up to that. Even in R4, if they want to build, 2-story, they can. But that's the highest they can go. These are the limits.
Oh, the 4 story is the limits.
Correct, yeah.
Okay.
So any zoning, yeah, they're just giving you a limit. Even in R3 now, right? They can build two family or they can build one family, right? But as an investor now, you always want to try to max out whatever's the city is allowing you, so you can build more, you can get more rental income out of it.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
So,
Right.
quick question.
Hmm.
Let's say the R4. I know it could go up to 4 floors.
Hmm.
R4, how it means. But can we put 8 family on that?
8 family, no.
Okay. Yeah. No. So you could only get 4 family, and you could
Correct.
go only
Three.
or you could do it 2 floors front and back.
Correct. Yeah. It's a total units. Yeah. And then they give you the square feet, right? It depends. It's like it's always better to go higher, right? So you can have each floor can have maximum space and everything. But yeah, you can do it how you're suggesting it as well.
Okay.
Yep.
The another thing, Ali, if you build more, right, then you guys have to pay more tax on it.
Correct.
Oh, okay. Yeah. You
Yeah,
more wide,
property
more
tax.
space you use up is more taxes and air rights.
Correct.
Yes,
Yeah.
Okay.
that's the reason, the city changing right now. A lot of over area they're changing the zoning. The reason they want to make more money. Like 101 Avenue, they changed to up to sixth floor.
Yeah.
If anybody want to pay sixth floor, they have to pay like $20,000, 18 to 20,000.
Yeah, but it's give and take, right? It's if you're
Yeah.
paying the taxes, but you're getting more income, your value is getting, the property value is more. So it's pros and cons, right? Just is for both. More
Yes.
taxes, but it's still good, right? It's still good if you, as an investor, if you can get more income out of it and your property values more.
Yeah. One guy like over here on 132nd Street, I think 132nd Street, right? He
Hmm.
combined two lot and built the two family.
Yeah,
And his property taxes right now in South Thousand Park is $20,000. He
yeah.
don't know if he built if the tax going to raise that crazy.
Hmm. Some of them are not aware. So yeah, as realtor, always mention that yeah, zoning is great, but your taxes will obviously increase the more you build. Yeah.
Definitely, common sense. Tell
Yep,
you that.
yep. Mm-hmm. But it's great for like when the zoning changes and investor that or a person property owner that's been sitting on that property for quite some time. It's a win-win situation for them. The value goes up for sure. More investors are interested in your property. So when the zoning changed, always any address always know what the zoning is. So and let them know. Pretty much if they're the homeowner, they know. But as a realtor, we should know as well, right? Anything else, guys?
Zoning is fine if anybody have a question. Going back to yesterday about the STAR program, I think people in Queens used to get $400 when they apply for the STAR program in Queens. Are you saying that this is no more?
For the Queens, I ex few agents too. Does anybody have experience with that? I don't. I mean, majority of the clients that apply for Star, they were in just in Long Island. Does anyone? Did you have anyone do it too, Mr. Ali, or no?
No, I
No,
myself
right?
did, but I didn't get through. But
Yeah,
one classes they said was a $400 credit, but I don't know anyone physically in Queens who
I
benefit
got it.
from that program.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. I mean, and the taxes, thank God, they're more reasonable than Long Island, and but would still, I don't know. Does anyone have any experience with that, guys? Take that as a no. Yeah, so just in Long Island. Yep,
Okay,
yep, yep. And for next week, guys, one of the agents mentioned we're gonna do comps topic. So if you guys want to talk about anything, we'll do that. Just shoot me a message and let me know what do you want me to go in depth with. And all these meetings that we're doing, again, it's gonna be more versions of this where we're going more in depth with these topics. So in coming weeks, that's why we're recording these, and there'll be more versions of this. All right, guys. If there's nothing else, I will see you guys Tuesday. All right, and the next meeting it's on when is it? Saturday 30th. Yeah, Saturday the 30th. The office in person meeting. Okay.
okay.
All right, guys. If there's nothing else, I'll see you guys next time. All right. You guys can get going one by one.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome.